Hey everyone, welcome to StormWind Live video blog. I'm Chris Ward, your project management instructor here at StormWind, and we are excited to have you guys join us today as we take a look at some tips on how to apply for the PMP exam. A lot of people say, well, why would you need tips and tricks on that? Well, unlike other certifications like Microsoft and most of Cisco, unless you're taking the CCIE, you have to prove to PMI that you are worthy of taking the PMP exam. So you have to prove about your education and whether you actually worked on projects, and so it can be kind of a daunting task, especially when you first get into the website and start figuring out exactly what you want to do. So we're going to walk you through and show you a few tips and tricks on how you can get prepared for it and some of the requirements that they ask for before you even step into that small well-lit room after spending that large amount of money to answer questions on a computer screen. First place we're going to go and take you out to is PMI's website. This is www.pmi.org. Simple enough. And from the main front page, you simply come over here, click on certification, and that's going to take us on out to that site, and it's going to say, all right, what do you want to sign up for? Now, there's several different. If you're looking over here, you have CAPM, you got our PMP we're going to sign on. You can get all kinds of information about the different types of certifications. And just so you know, you don't have to apply online. There is a way for you to go through and do a paper application, but let me tell you something, you don't want to do that. It takes longer, up to 10 days to get a reply, and you got to fill that out. Instead, the online's great. So what you want to do is you want to click on Ready to Apply, and you're going to want to create, and down here, create an account for a new user. Now, the reason why this is cool and the reason why this is effective is because, let's be honest, it's going to take you probably 8 to 12 hours of your time to finish this application. Why is that? Well, number one, you're going to have to remember all the work you did, and it's going to ask you like, well, how much work and how many hours did you work on initiation of that project you worked on? You don't have to, but how about planning? What about executing? And you're going to have to think about those things and really try to look down and say how much of that I was me and how much of that was maybe my team. So you got to plan for that. Then you got to find your old boss's telephone numbers or email contact information, so that way you can let PMI know that these are the people they can go to confirm that you actually did stuff like that. So that's important, and it's going to take time. So why would you want to do this? Because now you can save everything. So when you get in here and you get your user account put in, and you put in maybe a project and you work it out, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I need the telephone number. You can save it, take a day, go find that information, and then come back. So that's the beautiful thing about utilizing this particular online sign-up. So use the online. That's tip number one. Now, the other thing you're going to want to think about is, okay, I know that I can go online. What am I going to need to show them and put into the application? Well, believe it or not, there are several things that PMI is looking for. First off, they're going to be looking for the education. Do you have a bachelor's degree, or do you just have a high school diploma or a GED or some sort of similar education? It just depends on where you are globally. And what you'll find is that when it comes down to this, it basically is just trying to prove that you're just not somebody who just walked off the street and didn't have any education and just started working on projects. So you need to have an educational background. You can see that right there. High school diploma, bachelor's degree. The nice thing about having a bachelor's degree or a global equivalent is that you only need 3 years unique, non-overlapping professional project experience of at least 4,500 hours. 4,500 hours versus a high school diploma or maybe just an associate's degree. You need 5 years non-overlapping experience with 7,500 hours. So they really want to make sure that you come in and you have the education and the experience necessary. Now, the one thing that you'll also find out is that when you put your application in, a little tip is make sure the name you put on your application matches your 2 forms of ID that you have to give at the testing site. The reason why is because if your passport says one thing and your application says another, or your test voucher, they'll think, quite frankly, that maybe you're somebody coming in and trying to take the exam for Chris Ward. If you're, Steve Chris Ward and then I'm Chris Ward, and then they're like, well, maybe it could be somebody different. So that's important. Make sure that check your driver's license, check your passport, and that's what you use to apply. And that's also, by the way, the name that'll appear on your certificate. FYI. Now, the other thing that we want to think about is also that when you're getting ready for the exam, remember how we're going to talk about you can get audited, which basically says they're going to say prove that you did the work that you said and prove that you went to that college or whatever it is. So you need to have that information ready. So what I suggest, tip, copy and paste, take a screen capture or put that information into a Word document and then email that to your bosses and to the people that are going to be confirming the information. So that way when you do that, when the PMI goes and says, hey, did Chris really do 20 hours of initiation on this particular project? And your boss will go, yeah, that's about right. They'll know ahead of time. And that's why it's good communication, and that way you won't have to worry too much about it. Not that you're making stuff up. I know you're all honest, but it just because sometimes as a boss, I might go, I don't remember. Was it 40 hours or was it 20 hours? So you want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Next, make sure that you schedule your exam at least 6 weeks in advance, okay? 6 weeks in advance of your target date. If you get, you can do it 4 weeks, but the problem is those seats fill up fast. They really do in your area, so you're going to want to make sure that you get that taken care of and get the date that you want. Plus, what that does is it gives you incentive to get studying, take the class, like our PMP class, which I'm hoping you're taking, and or, reading your books, studying your notes, and doing that and getting ready for that exam. Now, it talks about the application processing timeline. Basically, just know it takes about 5 days overall. I've heard it take as less as 2 and even a little bit more, like 6 days, but they're usually good right around the 5-day mark, getting you that information about, hey, you are now approved, or in the world that we come from, you might be audited, where they want to check to make sure that everything's working. Just understand that 1 out of every 4 applicants gets audited. So you want to make sure that you are prepared for this. Now, audit requests are going to be coming in from email almost immediately after you put the payment up for the exam, because that's the last thing that you do. And if you're audited, they're going to say, could you fax us or give us a scan of your high school diploma or your bachelor's degree or signatures from your manager on those projects, or they might even call those managers. And that's why it's important for you to make sure that you communicate that information and get it into the hands of those people that were, formerly your boss. Last but not least, how much does this whole thing cost me? What's it going to cost? Well, here are the fees for you in US dollars. So, do the math if you need to, or use some kind of conversion. CBT, if you are a member of PMI, it is $405. If you're a non-member, it is going to be $555. Just by the way, ding, 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 hint, hint, hint. Membership is only $125. So if you do the math, membership, you're already saving a little bit on your test, and you get all the benefits of becoming a member of PMI. By the way, just so you know, I do not get any money from PMI to suggest that you become a member of PMI. I just think it's a good thing. You do save some money on some of the testing, and even if, heaven forbid, that you don't pass it on the first time and you have to take the re-examination, you still save quite a bit of money on that. So all that to say is that, get prepared, get ready, go online, get signed up, take the time and be prepared for that exam and that audit. And the sign-up experience, the getting ready for the exam is going to be a lot smoother. So thanks for joining us. Hope you guys enjoyed this little video blog on signing up for the PMP, and hope to see you guys in a class out there soon for our Project Management Professional Exam Prep.